Let's go ahead and check your work here. So remember, with the order of operations, I need to multiply first, and I'm going to rewrite this as -7 plus 10, which would give me an answer of 3. Let's take a look at B here. I need to do my multiplication first, because remember, this is just in parentheses to show me it's a negative number. So let me rewrite that as 7 minus 32. And here, since I have two signs next to each other, I know the negative wins, so I'm going to rewrite it as subtraction. Let me draw my cone here. 7 minus 32. You tell me what you got here. What was your answer? 7 minus 32. You should have gotten -25, and then we do -25 minus 3. So remember, we're going further in debt, so we get -28. Let's go ahead and review our fractions. Remember, if we have a mixed number, my first step is to make it improper. So here, I'm going to make this into 7/5, and it's a negative. Now, again, you could rewrite it here as +3/4, -3/4, or you could have rewritten as subtraction. I'm going to make my common denominator of 20. Remember, I multiply the top and the bottom, both to make that common denominator. And I'm going to do the same over here. Now, a negative and a negative is going to give me a bigger negative. So you could have left your answer as -43/20, or made it into a mixed number here of -2 and 3/20. Now let's go ahead and review our multiplying. So again, I'm going to leave my first fraction. I need to make this improper. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1, 4/3. Now multiplying is much easier. I can just multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. This one I cannot simplify, so I'm just going to leave it as -8/15. Over here, again, I can add a 1 underneath, so I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to make this one improper. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1, 3/2. Tell me what you got for your final answer. You should have gotten -6/2, which simplifies down to -3. Okay, let's take a look here. What's my rule for dividing? Keep, change, flip. So I keep my first one, change my sign, flip my second fraction. Remember, that negative, it doesn't matter where it goes. We're just going to keep it at the same spot to make it easier. Then we just go ahead and multiply across. But make sure a negative divided by a negative is going to give us a positive. You should get a +1 there. Anytime we have a mixed number, we need to make it improper. So we have 11/10 divided by -3/8. I'm going to do my keep, change, flip. Remember, once you do your keep, change, flip, you can simplify it on your diagonals first if you would like. You don't have to, but I like to do this to make it easier for me in the end. So here, if you didn't do this, don't worry yet. You might still have the same answer. So remember, a negative and a negative is going to give me a positive here. And then that's improper, so don't forget to make that into a mixed number. You should have gotten 2 and 14/15 for your final answer. Now my decimals are a whole lot easier. I'm just going to line them up and multiply, and I know a negative times a positive is going to be a negative. So write that negative in so you don't forget. I'm going to ignore those decimals and just go ahead and multiply here. Don't forget my second row, I add a 0. Here, I'm going to add my rows together. And now I add that decimal back in. 1, 2, 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3 spaces. So you should have gotten -3 and 296 thousandths. You check yours for J with mine. Tell me what you got here. You should have gotten 1.44, and it's a positive 1.44 because it was a negative times a negative. Now remember, when we're dividing, think the second guy was late to class, so he needs to go outside of the classroom. He's going to have to wait for Miss Feynman to open the door. Now remember, we can't have a decimal on our divisor, so I need to move that over a spot, and I move this over a spot. So really I have 32 divided by 16. So I know I'm going to have to add a decimal and a 0. This is going to go in 5 times here exactly. And remember, if I have a decimal here, add your decimal up top. And a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. So remember, on the test, you're going to have to show your work. You're going to need to show me these steps. Let's go ahead and do the next one. Remember, who goes outside? The second number goes outside of our house. We need to move that decimal outside of my divisor. So I'm going to move it over. I'm going to add a 0 in that blank spot. Here, I'm going to go ahead and do my division. It goes in 2 times. I'm going to subtract, bring that 8 down. 2 goes into 18 9 times. 2 times 9 is 18. A 0, bring another 0 down. 290. And remember, this is a negative divided by a positive, so my answer is a negative. Once you get your final answer, you're going to go ahead and start on your math space. Don't forget, submit this to Canvas and then start your math space. Thanks for watching.